Okay, what's going on, everybody? This is Hebrew Thought, and I know it's been a minute since my last video, um, but I just had to make a video because I watched something today that really was kind of not an eye opener, but just a reminder for me of the sad state that we as black people have fallen to. Um, there's a YouTuber. There's several YouTubers I'm going to be addressing in this video, but there's a YouTuber by the name of Some Black Guy, and he had a hangout today that I watched, and it was basically the whole entire hangout was to attack Tariq Nasheed, and I'm not going to defend Tariq Nasheed for uh, anything, but he and I do share some commonalities in the belief that black people really need to focus on our independence, and we really need to focus on gaining our own power before we can join up with white people, before we can integrate and do all these things. So, um, watching this video, it was an eye opener because you had these white guys and I believe a Pakistani guy, and of course you had these coons. You had some black guy. You had the ball-headed milk dud looking dude, Anthony Logan, and you had Tommy Soda Moisture, who is a white supremacist in blackface. You have this other individual that I'm not too familiar with, something 2 cents, Stew 2 cents, or something like that. So, um, the thing is, as I was watching this video, I noticed that many times the white guys would just blurt out these inaccurate statements about um, many people who are on this side of the political spectrum. Okay, they would really just blurt out any kind of anti-black rhetoric that they could point to, racism denying rhetoric that they could point to, and they would throw it out there in a real ambiguous kind of way and allow these weak black men to pick it up. They would almost like throw it up, and the black guys would slam it down like an alley hoop, if you would imagine, in basketball. But of course, Tommy Soda Moisture would always be the attack dog, the one that would go overboard. And even when he would say some things that would make the white guys cringe, they would still be okay with it because, he would be spewing the rhetoric that they can't spew. Because their whole thing is, oh, we're not racist. We shit on everybody equally. We shit on everybody equally. You know, but they attack the one black man who's trying to empower the black community. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you dislike history. I'm sorry if you dislike data. I'm sorry if you dislike uh, 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 people, okay, taking responsibility, taking their lives into their own hands, okay? There's nothing wrong with me looking at history and looking at current events and then understanding and figuring out that, wait a minute, these people have done everything under the sun to us. Whether you're angry, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're a friendly black person, whether you're a evil black person, it doesn't matter. Okay, black people have had their necks stepped on by white supremacy. Okay, and it's uncomparable to any other groups. I even heard these people, uh, you know, in a jovial way, talking about how Africans dislike African Americans. Of course, doing what they've done for generations, causing division amongst the black communities. Um, and it's sad because as I watched this, I observed several different types of coons. You had these, but there were certain characteristics that was very apparent that jumped out, and that was all these so-called brothers were seeking white validation. They were seeking white friendship, going out of their way, and they, I guess, to them, their figuring is that uh, the more that they buck dance, tap dance, and deny history, deny facts, just totally discount and try to discredit the positions that many black people on the conscious side take. Um, I guess they figure that they will gain something from that, whether it be pussy or money. And that usually is the main motivation of these pathetic individuals. Because, matter of fact, now that I think about it, the one black guy, he had some like fat white woman in the background laying around on the couch and on the floor, and so these guys are see through, man. I mean, some black guys, that black kid you knew growing up, especially if you're a black person like me who grew up in an upper middle class neighborhood. There weren't a lot of black people, but my parents always raised me to be on my game and to know what I would be facing out there in the world in terms of me being a dark skinned black male in an upper middle class neighborhood. White people. I remember white people all the time trying to attack my father. Attack his profession. Trying to make it seem as if he didn't earn where he was. And I remember some of the white kids, or should I say the black kids, that would dye their hair and try to hang with the skaters and you know listen to heavy metal music, and that's what some black guy is. And then every once in a while I would have to save a kid like that from a bigger white kid that might be on the football team with me or something like that. And I know those guys, man. So it's something deep down rooted. Now Tommy Sotomayor, man, he has some issues. He has some real issues that stem from childhood. I think that guy really needs a psychiatrist. But just watching it and watching these guys allow these white guys and these others to totally misrepresent facts, misrepresent history, and to act as if the data and the historical evidence isn't on our side. And when I say our side, I mean people on my side of the political thought perspective. Um, Black people, we need to really purge these kind of individuals. And I'm not talking about violence, but what I am talking is a philosophical, total disassociation from these people. We will not entertain them. We will not allow them to attack the few voices that we have out there that are speaking on our behalf. And I don't, like I said, I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed on all things, but I do agree with him that white supremacy is real, and that people like some black guy, like Tommy Sotomayor and those other two idiots, they are the custodians, the janitors of white supremacy. And every time, if you notice, that's why they have so many white followers. I've been on plenty white supremacist message boards, and they reference Tommy Sotomayor, all the time. They always reference this guy or some black guy. They always link you to their videos as validation for their hatred or their spewing of anti-black rhetoric or their hatred of black people. So, just to listen to the logical fallacies, the misrepresentation of history, the misrepresentation of slavery, the misrepresentation of the plight of African Americans in America. Okay, and they laughed, they joked, and the black guys just just laid down, skinned and grinned, and just allowed it, man. They looked pathetic. They looked pathetic. Not a real black person anywhere in sight. And needless to say, man, it was 2 hours of my life I will never get back. But, you know, you have to be careful when you're out there dealing with these kind of people because these are the type of people that will be on your job, um, bad mouthing you to the boss and the higher ups uh, just to be accepted socially in hopes of getting a promotion over you. Okay, these are the people that will have no shame in selling you out. So you got to be aware, man. Be on your guard. I'm going to continue to make some videos. I'm going to do some further analysis on this, but this is just my first reaction, man. And my first instincts was to jump on and shoot my thoughts. So everybody, God bless, man, and I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.